Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It feels like this is just becoming like a ladder rivalry. There's been so many games between Bisu and Speed, and I'm trying to cast them all. Just like, it's hard to come up with many matches that are kind of just better on average than a Bisu versus Speed game. Obviously Speed has been dominating the ladder. They're both in ASL. Bisu is still one of the best Protoss players. I think that he plays a very good PvT overall. Occasionally he'll do one of these attacks where I'm just like, I don't know, man. Doesn't seem too good to me, but we'll see if something like that ends up happening here. We're on Deja Vu in cross spawn locations. So yeah, I guess we'll end up seeing how that plays out. Like, is it going to be a Nexus first or something like that? Yeah, it looks like Bisu's going to make the gateway. He's going to play honorably, at least somewhat here with that gateway, not even scouting as of yet. And as far as Speed goes, it might be a gasless expansion. He's going pretty far out there for his barracks. Normally, yeah, if you have the barracks this far forward, it's generally a gasless expansion. So probably a very, very fast expansion here for Speed. So we'll see what that ends up doing to this game. Now, yeah, I guess, I had a lot of fun casting the ASL qualifiers recently. Obviously, that was a good time. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into that and commenting and liking and all that. Those videos were really successful, so I'm really happy about that. Some of the longer ones in the past haven't been as compelling, I think, to people, but I definitely feel like that does add a lot of flavor. And, right now I'm kind of like, I guess, casting ASL players. And it's not that I want to skip the guys who didn't make ASL. If one of their great games comes up, I'm sure I'm going to still do some of those. But definitely want to kind of focus on those players since ASL does start very soon. It's like, what, about 10 days? 9 days, maybe? And, of course, Taste I will be casting the entirety of the ASL for you guys, so definitely do check that out. But, yeah, love to see what type of shape these guys are in. Everyone's, like, practicing a lot right now. Obviously, they're all practicing before getting ready for the ASL qualifiers as well. But, now that we're actually there and we know who's qualified and everything, this is your chance. This is how you kind of elevate yourself as a player. So right now, Bisu going to be going for that Nexus. Not that far behind, really. But Speed should be pretty happy with what this opening looks like so far. He's actually making a third Marine here. And he did do an end scout and doesn't find Bisu, so now knows that he is, in fact, cross-spawn. And does get that bunker started. That's kind of interesting. With the end scout, the fact that he went up to the third Marine, sometimes you don't see the third Marine before the bunker. So that actually feels a little bit safer than some of the gasless expands that I've seen. Kind of interesting. I'm just going to have to think on that a little bit. But gets his factory going, and of course his command center is going to be coming along very quickly here. And the Dragoon does prevent the SCV from getting any further, but, he'll probably play a pretty standard-looking gasless expansion. Like, if you don't get the scout off, you see a Dragoon, you probably just have to throw your eBay down right after your second factory. Like, he could skip it. He could say, oh, you know what? I don't think it's DT, and get, like, a better build order off. And he would technically be right this game, but it would be very risky. So let's see if he throws that down. Because realistically, like, in the next 10 seconds or so, would be the I don't want to die to DT no matter what timing for the engineering bay. And, every little bit that you wait after that makes it a little bit more risky. So let's see, because that he didn't really get the scout off. So there is a little bit of risk inherent in the way he's playing this game. Snow detection? Okay. Well, The thing is, DT is so not popular right now, and especially with like really high-end players. So there you go. He starts it a little bit later, and it's reasonable, right? He saw like a Dragoon and everything. The thing is, if you start your Citadel the second that the Cybernetics Core finishes, the DT would be here before you can get a missile turret. That's, again, that's not going to be the case, but I always find it interesting to see which types of risks players are taking. Like, honestly, if I'm a Protoss player about to play Speed in this season, he has so many games on the ladder, I would just go and look for commonalities like this, where it's like, okay, these are the games where he didn't get a full scout off. His eBay timing is this. Can I get a DT in those scenarios, right? And the thing is, that might not happen, but like that can give you literally a free win. Like, so as long as you block that scout, it's like, okay, well, we know he doesn't go, you know, for an eBay with for the earliest timing of this. Anyways, whatever. It's neither here nor there. I like the build that Bisu has done here. I think that this is the best counterplay against gasless expansion that a gateway expansion has. So basically what's happened here is he went 1 gate range robo, 3rd nexus. So what you do is you put pressure on the bunker, and generally that will force the siege upgrade, but he hasn't done that here. Like, he's been playing a little bit more greedily, and he's saying, okay, you know what? It's cross spawn. We don't really need siege. He has 4 Marines in the bunker. He goes up to 3 tanks. So this is like the best counter against what Bisu is doing here. So Bisu kind of like greeded, and in a way, like, speed cut quite a bit. It was like later engineering bay, and he skipped the siege mode where, you know, if this had been a more dedicated ranged Dragoon attack, it's possible it could have done damage. Probably not cross spawn once again. But yeah, some good back and forth between these two so far. Now, a couple of vultures being rotated around. The Dragoons coming out to kind of meet this push. And this is the important thing happening right now. Look at that. Bisu had the probe waiting there, kind of a StarCraft 2-esque move, waiting to make a full block. Throws a couple of mines down, but this is going to be deadly because he's getting siege. He's going to be able to kill this Nexus. If he just walks the tanks, well, he could focus fire a pylon, but like if you rally vultures nonstop and walk the tanks to here and siege, the Dragoons are going to have a hard time. But if you stand them right near there, it makes it a little bit harder. Now, he doesn't have his siege quite yet. Okay, he kills the pylon. Okay, this was actually like perfect from speed. He gets as far back as he can. Bisu should be able to save this base. And in fact, he's focusing on killing off Dragoons, where he could have focus fired the probes a little bit, but he's reducing that Dragoon account as much as he possibly can. And oh my God, is he getting insanely good trades. That is a crazy amount of Dragoons that he's killed. I cannot believe how many Dragoons he just got. That was really decisive from speed. And the thing is, he knew he was going to lose all the tanks, but he reduced the Dragoon count so significantly. The thing is, he could have killed a lot of the probes, but then the Dragoons are going to clean him up, clean up his bush like a little bit better, a little bit quicker. But look at this. He has definitely a follow-up plan here of going into 6 factory. After killing that many Dragoons, he said, all right, let's just go ahead and follow this up with a timing attack, which makes perfect sense. Now, he does have his comm-sats up. He has some additional missile turrets up. So just playing it very, very safe from here. The Vulture's doing a little bit of scouting. Honestly, I just don't want to see him really lose any units. I think if he maximizes his unit count right now, that's going to make it really hard for Bisu. Now, you see Bisu's been on 4 gate for a while. He does not have Citadel yet. He's definitely going to add some gates. And look, he's got this over where the 3rd base should be going. And he actually does have an observer on top of the factories as well. So, like, this is pretty clear. Bisu needs a Citadel, and he needs to go 8 gates. Seven, 8. Is he going to go even more? Oh, he's going to go 10. Okay. Or maybe he goes 9. Yeah, there's the 10. Okay, so he's taking this as seriously as you can. 10 gates is like basically the maximum. 10 gates plus robo on 3 base for Protoss is like, that's basically it. That's the limits. It's kind of like if you see like 9 gates on 2 bases against Zerg with some observers being made. Like, it's like, yeah, this is going to spend every drop of resources he gets and maximize his army size. Now, Speed has added the 3rd add-on, which is perfectly smart because he lost the initial 3 tanks, so he needs to make up for that in a way, and he has gone into the 7 factories. So he's still got that really good Vulture production as well. He's overmade Goliath slightly so that even if some get picked off, he can kill the shuttle really quickly. These guys are actually both so dialed in here. There has been so many excellent decisions made on both sides. Really, like, you look at this strategically, excellent decisions on both sides. Bisu, look at the supply of Bisu here. He's up 10 workers, but he's up 32 supply, so over 20 army supply advantage. His Zealot legs are late, which we've talked about this endless times on the channel. You just need to get those Zealot legs as quickly as possible. That's the real key to holding these pushes. So I'm a little bit nervous, but if he takes the engagement right exactly here, it might work even with slow Zealots. The thing is, he has a lot of Dragoons out of position, so he is going to pull back. Yeah, if those Dragoons happen to be standing up there and all those Zealots come down at the same time, maybe. Now, he does pick off a tank on the periphery here. You've got to be really careful as Speed. In fact, Speed needs to just back up and expand. Look at Bisu's supply, 180. He went from losing like 12 goons over here to now we're at 180 supply at 1:30 seconds. I mean, 11 minutes, 30 seconds. Kind of crazy. Speed actually pulls back and wraps around. This is a very powerful position, but this is like a position where Bisu might come in behind it or he might counterattack. When his Zealot legs finish, he has so much army right now, it's actually ridiculous. So Speed setting up, trying to kill this base. Sorry, I'm so zoomed out here, but it's like this is a very, very long tank line. But there's so many Zealots in here, I can't imagine Bisu losing his Nexus. Like, he's going to clear the army, but if Speed is efficient enough, there might be a world in which he can just take a 3rd base. I don't know he's going to be efficient enough. Bisu actually leaves 12 Zealots on the side that are not fighting. If these were in this army, like, this would be so one-sided. Instead, he's losing... Like, he shouldn't have lost a single one of those goons, realistically. Huge mistake from Bisu with that attack move. Huge mistake. The fact that he had a whole group over here, it's like he attack moved it there or something. So he loses way, way, way more than he should, and he's still up 50 supply. Top left being taken here from Bisu. Speed starts his 3rd base on location over here after the failed push. Nice micro there. He is going to be able to gain a little bit of value because he killed so many Dragoons. His Vultures can kind of roam free for a moment. Reaver, the only thing kind of stopping him from that. Bisu having to make a big round of Dragoons right now. This is a tough situation here for Speed, I'd say. The thing is, like, I would be calling game over if those Zealots had actually been in the attack, but the fact that he left 24 supply out of his attack still beat everything. He would have been so much more efficient with those. But now Speed is like, okay, he's going to run out of minerals here. Not only does he need to take this, but look at how low these minerals are getting. He's at like 400 a patch. Like, he actually needs to take yet another base. He needs a double expand. He needs to... Basically, what he needs to do is, as he secures this, push into this area and turtle it like crazy. I don't think there's a world in which he can expand to this area and hold on to everything. Because I think what he needs to do, basically, is, like, work towards max while expanding here and push north. I don't feel like... And there's really anything else for him. By the way, I love Speed leaving a couple Vultures over here. You really need to do that. How many games are lost because Terran doesn't have a Vulture in the other main base? But, yeah, like, Speed does not have, like, a timing attack coming up, I guess, is what we're trying to look at and explain here. Reaver drop comes in from Bisu. This is just kind of like a minor annoyance right now for Speed. Siege is up once again. is definitely a little bit annoying. Gets rid of that siege tank. Hey, actually, I mean, he's stopping a lot of mining right now. Little bit of a speed vulture rotation towards top left. And he even gets the Reaver into the main base. That is so annoying. Clearing a space for his shuttle to fly through. Yeah, and speed should just... Oh, he does actually pick it up. I was going to say he should just get the kill there, but it doesn't look like that'll be the case. Being really, truly annoying at this point. But Bisu is maxed out, and now he's on 5 base. Wow. I am trying to get inside of Speed's head as to what the plan is from here. Oh, man, a storm drop comes down. 10 kills, 1 kill. Brings him down to 45 workers. The thing is, his economy... I mean, it is his big problem, but 45 actually still saturates his patches for now. 45 is like low 2-base saturation for Terran. And he's like basically out of mineral patches up here, or he will be momentarily. So he's still going to basically be mining his bases efficiently. But obviously this is not playing well into a longer game since Bisu has those 5 bases up and running. Okay, Bisu actually going to just attack in since he is maxed out on 5 bases. Bombing out on top of those siege tanks. There is a little drop over here, so Speed is doing a good job of trying to get some sort of counterplay going. But, yeah, I think, like, Bisu here, as long as he clears this, doesn't lose that Nexus, yeah, and he is going to be able to do that pretty easily. Even if he loses all of these units, Speed is basically dead at this point. So, like, Bisu played a really excellent game here. I actually want to go over this a little bit. Okay, so I want to jump back to the opening build. So he gets up here and he sees that it is a gasless expansion. So if you look at his counter build, I mentioned that I think that this is the best thing that you can do against gasless expansion, where you go just like 1 gate, you can go observer with it to make sure that mines don't screw you up or something, into 3 base instantly, because you just don't need a lot of units, because you know, it's like if you see this setup, you're like, oh, okay, it's a gasless expansion. You know how late their siege tanks are. And a lot of the time, what you'll do here is force siege mode. And if you force siege mode, you're golden, okay? So the fact that we had Speed... Oops, sorry, clicked the wrong spot there. We had Speed, skip the siege mode, and part of that's cross spawn. And, you know, I talked a lot about the missile turret and the fact that he didn't really get a great scout. That is true. There is a world in which he dies to a bad player who went quick DT. But yeah, he comes out here, and this is kind of a crazy set of engagements that happens and decision-making that happens, okay? So look at this. The vultures trying to run by make you be very, very careful, right? He has to make this full wall. He did have this full wall already set up here. He needs to protect his probes for sure from these, because this push can do multiple things. It can either keep everything together and hurt you, or the vultures can do a counterattack and get in somewhere while the dragoons are trying to deal with this. So look. He sets up. This is insane. So that was 1 dragoon dead. Okay, so let's just count his dragoons here. So he had 12 dragoons. And oftentimes what you'll see here is Terran will target these probes and just kill a bunch of probes and then kill some dragoons. So let's look. So this was, again, it was 12 dragoons total. He killed 10 dragoons with his 3 tanks. So this sets him up to go into the like 7 factory push, but Bisu has the observer there. So Bisu goes up to 10 gates, which is just like, he just wants as many units as he can possibly get. So let's just jump up here, and you can see his macro just explodes from here on the 3 base. He's got great saturation. He's slowing this down as he can. And just slowing it even a little bit. So powerful. Okay, so speed pushes up. And this is where I called, okay, speed needs to go home. He's been slowed enough. He needs to go home. And I think I am correct here. Look at this. If you look at the supply differential, plus 50 supply. 10 of which is workers, of course. But that's 40 army supply more than speed has. And the thing is, when you force 10 gate on 3 base, like, Bisu doesn't have a whole lot else going on. So if you pull this back, all right, so if we just kind of take a look here, I'm zoomed out as much as I can get, and look at this. Oh my gosh. So if you take this army, right, this army here, and you pull it back, and you set up here, okay? Let's say you set up here, you have a turret here, a turret here. Okay, you have mines here, mines here, mines here. Okay, this is a very good setup. And I believe on 7 factories, when you're already at 130 supply with just 53 workers, you're going to be able to hold that position. And your opponent is sitting on 10 gateways. The 10 gateways, like, again, he's going to need to make more nexuses. So it's like, okay, well, if he attacks into you, you're way ahead. Because you're in an entrenched position, and you actually have enough supply. Okay, so, like, 140 well set up Terran supply can hold a maxed push, right? And it'll go either way, but that's like kind of the line. And the fact that we're at 130 against 176 right now, and speed is down 10 workers, so we can kind of increase that and call it 140 against 176, just for comparison there. As they both macro up, right? Over the course of a cycle, Bisu's going to basically get 20 more supply, so he's going to basically max out, and we're going to get, what, 14 more supply? But we're closer to speed's base, so his reinforcement is going to be a little bit quicker, right? And so he's going to, let's call it, he's going to get 30 more supply-ish, a little bit less, 28 more supply-ish by the time Bisu hits a max attack. So he's going to hold, right? A lot of StarCraft can come down to math. But instead, we have speed rotate around, and he comes up here, and it's like, okay, yeah, the position is very good, and position does mean a lot, but Bisu's continuing to max. We don't really have a reinforcement, so it's basically the same army supply as far as what's going to fight. And the thing is, Bisu screws this up badly. His attack move, look at this. 24 supply not in the battle. These zealots didn't do anything. There's no question that speed should have moved back. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.